before.
Michael Carpenter and the Banks Brothers, we've featured some of their music around the place over the time, and it's been proved very popular, particularly with the real country fans. Their new single's out, it's called Where My Heart Used to Be. And for a change-up, Zane Banks from the Banks Brothers joins us. Zane, congratulations with the new music. It must be a big buzz.
It is. It was a lot of fun, and it really was basically the main thing that kept us going through lockdown, was writing this record and recording it.
Remind us how the association with Michael Carpenter came about.
So we're all Sydney-based musicians and do a lot of session work. And since Michael is, a very established producer, he would get my brother and I to play on a lot of recordings for country artists. And Tamworth before last, we were just up there and we were sort of chatting about our love of traditional country music like Merle Haggard, Hank Williams, Johnny Cash, those guys. And then when we were all driving back to Sydney, Michael just sent a text message saying, hey, just wondering, would you guys be interested in putting together a band that plays kind of traditional country music with a modern twist? And instantly we were both like, yes. And that's basically how it started. And then we went into our first lockdown and wrote a record and, recorded it. And then we thought, things can only get better. But then in 2021, the same thing happened again. So that's basically the story of the band so far.
Both you and your brother watched the influences growing up.
Our parents are both musicians, and so we grew up in a house where there was a lot of music ranging from, rock through to classical. And my parents did like country music as well, particularly that kind of 70s Southern California country rock. But through that, it was kind of a gateway to get into the older stuff. My dad used to sing and play a lot of Hank Williams stuff on the guitar, like Hey Good Looking and Honky Tonk and those songs. Once I heard, there's just something about the kind of lonely mournfulness of particularly Hank that I heard, and I was like, this is it. I got to find out more of that stuff. And I just got hooked on it when I was probably in my early teens. And I love the guitar playing in just traditional country music as well.
How do you find it that you're wanting to put that modern feel on it, but still have that traditional sound that you want?
That's a good question, because there are some bands out there that do, traditional country music, and it sounds a bit like a museum piece, and I really didn't want to sound like I was trying to recreate the past, merely just sort of nodding my hat to it. So I think we write songs that have more of a kind of traditional country structure and melody and chords, as opposed to, say, more contemporary like top 40 country pop or rock. And we record it in such a way that we use, that twangy Telecaster tone instead of like a very heavily distorted rock sound. But we still use like modern gear, so we're not recording to the tape, and we don't obviously have the money to use all the old tube microphones, so that old technology does give it a particular sound. Ours has the modern kind of punchiness you get of any song that's played on the radio right now. It's just that the ingredients are sort of more from the 1950s, 60s, and more contemporary pop music these days, or country rock.
Now, Michael always strikes me as a bit of a perfectionist. How do you go with that?
I'm very used to that kind of personality, because it's pretty much what I am as well. And we work really well together because we've never actually ever had a disagreement. And anything that I need sort of an opinion of, if there's a particular song or a track that I've recorded where I just feel like I'm too close to it, Michael's judgment and his opinion is very close to mine, but he will sort of give me a straight answer, and it's never been offensive or anything like that. So he'll just be like, oh man, I reckon you've got a better take than you, or this lyric is, a bit weak. And I think that to be in a band, we have that kind of relationship and that trust is a really important thing, and so I'm very grateful for it.
What are we going to be doing at Tamworth next year?
50th anniversary. We're going to be going up there. We're playing a show at the Welder's Dog on the Thursday before the Golden Guitars, and hopefully we might get some nominations for the Golden Guitars so we can go along to the awards. That would be fun again. But my brother, the steel player in the band, he's booking a number of shows at the Tamworth Hotel, so there might be a bit of a Merle Haggard tribute thing going on, and it's still sort of evolving. Normally we would have had our Tamworth booked in by like March, but with this whole lockdown thing, we just weren't sure if it was going to go ahead. So now we're kind of playing catch-up with finding accommodation, booking the gigs, but we're looking forward to the 50th anniversary.
We all are. Zane Banks, it's been great to catch up with you. You'll see them all around the place, folks. It's Michael Carpenter and the Banks Brothers. We're going to play the single now. It's called Where My Heart Used to Be. Thanks, Zane.
Thank you so much.
Where my heart used to be, I'm full of misery. She walked out that door, left heart.